Hello and welcome. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari returns to Nigeria after attending the 72nd session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Gunmen kill 3 policemen, abduct Chief Executive Officer at the Ogba Zoo and Nature Park in Benin City, the Oyo State capital. Tension in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, as gunmen storm Olubadan's palace, shooting to disperse crowd attending chieftaincy title ceremony. And North Korea accuses United States of declaring war, says it has right to shoot down bombers.
On Business News tonight, the Central Bank of Nigeria injects $195 billion in foreign exchange markets ahead of Tuesday's monetary policy announcement.
On sports news, West Brom midfielder Gareth Barry breaks the all-time Premier League appearance record with the 633rd game in the English top flight.
And from Abuja, police arrest internally displaced persons protesting against long stay in Maiduguri IDP camps.
We begin tonight from the nation's capital, Abuja, with the return of the president to the country after spending more than a week away. President Muhammadu Buhari's official jet arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja this evening and was received by sub-cabinet members and other top government officials. The president left Nigeria for the US last week to attend the 72nd session of the United Nations General Assembly, where he held bilateral talks with some world leaders. President Buhari was also one of the 9 African leaders who met with the American President Donald Trump at a luncheon to discuss Africa's relationship with the US. The president thereafter left for the United Kingdom on Thursday before returning today. To security matters now, and 3 policemen posted to provide security for fun seekers at the Ogba Zoo and Nature Park in Benin City, the Oyo State capital, have been killed by gunmen. The attackers have also abducted the chief executive officer of the park, Andrew Ehanire. The police commissioner says efforts are ongoing to find the victim and bring the perpetrators to book.
Ogba Zoo and Botanical Gardens, which provides recreation and relaxation for people in Benin City and environs, became the latest target for violent attack by kidnappers who abducted the manager of the leisure facility and killed 3 policemen attached to the zoo in the process.
Please back off.
An eyewitness, Mr. Ben Bamiyi, who we met at the home of the abducted manager, Andrew Hanire, disclosed that the attack occurred while members of the Benin branch of the Ahmadu Bello University Alumni Association were holding their monthly meeting there.
One guy came with gun and shot down the 3 policemen. They were with guns. They were sitting. The guy was wearing a police bulletproof vest. The person that entered shot on the 3 policemen, then took their guns. So as they were shooting sporadically, Mr. Hanira and I and my wife were on the same place, back of a certain tank. And so the 3 of those guys came, and they are now telling that, "Oh yeah, you follow us," and he was like begging them. They said for where they now kindly dragged him out.
He noted that Andrew Hanire would have been rescued had the incident been promptly reported to the police.
Like 10 minutes. They were even shooting in the air. If police detachment was around there, they would have been able to come. Or if the earlier people that ran away went to the police station straight, they were being able to meet up with them. So they took the way. There's this Ogba River side. So they came with an Audi, smoking one, was not even running properly. So if there was quick intervention, they would have been intercepted.
The Edo State Police Public Relations Officer Moses Okambe, who spoke to Channels Television off camera, assured that the police has launched a manhunt and the perpetrators will be apprehended.
And the security situation in Bayelsa State is becoming more worrisome as 2 persons have been shot dead by suspected sea pirates along the Brass waterways. An eyewitness account has it that about 4 gunmen shot at a commercial speedboat at the Kurama axis, killing 2 of the passengers, a young man and a middle-aged woman. The boat was reportedly traveling from Yenagoa to Okuma in Brass local government area when the pirates struck and robbed them of their valuables. The chairman of the Bayelsa State chapter of the Nigeria Maritime Workers Union, who confirmed the incident, says 5 persons were injured in the process. Staying with security matters, gunmen today opened fire on a crowd gathered at the palace of the Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Saliu Adetunji, during the installation of some titled chiefs. Some journalists reporting the event and a former secretary to the Oyo State government, Sharafaddin Ali, are said to have escaped being hit by bullets. Our correspondent in Oyo State reports that windscreens were smashed and bullet holes were found in some cars parked outside the palace. The Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi has condemned the attack and asked security agencies to ensure that the perpetrators are arrested. The Olubadan Chieftaincy Review has been a subject of controversy in recent times, particularly between the Olubadan and the Oyo State Governor. Last week, the Olubadan sued the governor for what the monarch called the illegality of the Chieftaincy Review of Ibadan land.
I saw the advertisement in the paper today, whereby they are challenging the powers of Olubadan to install new ballads. If they feel bad about it, they should go to court. They should not start creating fears in the minds of people. You see, there's nobody that has got that has got exclusivity of violence. But we normally prefer to go our things in the legal way, because are there. They should try to go to the court if they would feel that what Olubadan is doing is illegal. But let me remind you that Olubadan Council is an advisory body to the Olubadan. If you are supposed to advise somebody, he has a right to accept your advice or to reject it.
To politics now, the call to restructure Nigeria's democratic system continues to shape the narrative in political and intellectual circles. However, the views on how the country should be restructured appear to be divergent, as statesmen, politicians and academics have different perspectives on the concept. An elder statesman and former presidential advisor, Tanko Yakasai, believes that a return to the 1963 constitution will provide a stronger platform for restructuring. While the chairman of the political committee of Afenifere, the Pan-Yoruba organization, Professor Banji Akintoye, argues that restructuring must take into consideration ethnic, cultural and regional differences. They spoke on our breakfast show, Sunrise Daily.
What I want, we have been arguing for, is a blueprint for restructuring. Now, some people have started to speak out, where we had 4 regions: North, West, East, and Midwest. Then there was a gathering of some Afenifere leaders in Ibadan. Now, they said they wanted us to go back to 1963 Constitution. But they created 6 regions. In 1963, we don't have 6 regions. We either eat our cake or we have it. If we want to go back to 1963 situation, we go back to 4 regions. If we want to create more, then we use the provision of 1963 Constitution to create more, whatever number we want to create.
A country like our own, we are not one nation. We are many nations. And each nation has its own territory, its own culture, has its own idea of its own dignity in the world, and wants to do its own things in its own way. The answer is to have a federation in which we adjust all of that and create a few states in which each people can express themselves and manage their own future. I think doing public hearings is a very positive thing to do in a democratic society. You are opening the discussion to the people. You are gathering their ideas, and the purpose is to gather it together and produce your policy. That's good. That's good. Is that this may just be delay tactics. They really don't want to do this restructuring.
The debate on federalism, restructuring and devolution of powers continues across the country. Now the ruling All Progressives Congress has taken its stakeholders meeting to Imo and Kwara states to feel the pulse of the people on the matter. However, creating a perfect structure has not been an easy task, going by the recent agitations by various groups in the country. In this next report, our correspondent Orelu Ashonibare traces the history of federalism in Nigeria.
Since 1939, there has been attempts to create a perfect structure of federalism in Nigeria, with Bernard Bodilon leading the charge. The baton was passed to Arthur Richards, who also guided the country along the path. Slowly, the country began evolving, with provinces and regions springing up. By independence, it was believed that the country was ready. But events that led to the Civil War changed everything. Several military coups did not also help the cause of federalism. However, the return of democracy in 1999 offered the country an opportunity to revive the dream. But over time, it had become clear that cracks laid by tribal differences and mistrust had broken the chain that held the country with about 371 tribes together. Debates held across the country on whether federalism should be jettisoned and another introduced has led to more debates, with each side laying claim to having the better point. The latest talks in Imo and Kwara states offer more parties the opportunity to bear their thoughts. There are those who want the country to remain as it is.
We must never allow this nation to break up in whatever anger by stationary or violence. We're better off a bigger nation. We're better off a stronger nation. The respect for command today in the rest of the world and Africa is because of our population.
This dialogue should explore ways of ensuring the greatest good for the greatest number of our people.
While some want the sharing formula readjusted.
There's a need to critically look into the issue of federal, state, and local government formula allocation. Likewise, there's a need to look at the revenue generation at the state level. I see no reason why at the state, revenues will be generated only to be submitted to the federal. It does not augur well for developmental projects in the state.
The summations on how Nigeria can attain true federalism can be said to be patriotic, but several factors are proving to be barriers towards achieving the objective, as phrases and words such as devolution of powers, resource control, and restructuring have now been regarded as truisms in the face of a more important topic: peace. Orelu Ashonibare, Channels Television News.
The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has for the umpteenth time ordered the dismantling of all roadblocks nationwide with immediate effect. The directive, according to him, is necessary to encourage ease of doing business in Nigeria, as well as safeguard and guarantee free passage of goods and travelers throughout the country. The routes specifically affected are the Lagos-Ibadan, Shagamu-Bini, Bini-Onisha, Okene, Abuja, Kaduna-Kano, Katsina-Kano, Otukbo, Enugu, and Enugu-Port Harcourt expressways. He also warns officers of the Nigeria Police Force who go on patrol with unidentified vehicles to desist from the act or be punished. This is not the first time the Inspector General of Police is giving this directive. It's, however, left to be seen if indeed police officers will adhere. In part two, after the break, oil prices hit $57 per barrel, and we'll be joined by an economist, he's an oil and gas expert, Ladi Bada, to analyze the implications for Nigeria. To join us again.